Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I've got jackass, living in the moment, and friends. So I feel like this is exactly what it looks like. I feel like someone was a jackass. This person could have been a friend. They could have jumped in with a friend, their friend, your friend. This person could have said something or done something to one of your friends. I feel like you know what this situation is though, because either this person did this to you or said this to you or like directly in front of you, or even if this was something that went on supposedly behind your back, which for a lot of you, I feel like this was that. I want to say I feel like God made sure it came out in some kind of way. I'm hearing that Jason Derulo song. It's like, when the roof caved in and the truth came out, I just didn't know what to do. And so I feel like somebody here, the truth somehow came out. This could have been in like a scandal or a drama, or it could have caused an argument or was like some type of big blowout. There's like gradient energy here because for some of you, I feel like this was really bad. But even if it was on the lighter end of things, I feel like it was still like it packed a punch. Like it was really like you had a tiff with somebody or there was some type of very strong, heated or awkward interaction. And maybe you guys kind of patched this up, but it's still like really awkward because something about what this person did was like really out of pocket, or it was a betrayal, or it's like, well, now I know, what you really are or what you really think. And I don't really exactly feel safe and I don't feel like trusting you. It feels like whatever this is kind of bad, like even on the lower end of things. And for some of you, this was like, like really bad, but this person is coming through like in the reading, somebody is coming through and saying, look, I was a jackass. I ain't shit for what I did. And they're saying that they were caught up in the moment. And I feel like whatever the moment was like maybe very casual, or it was, everybody was hanging out, or this was a party. It feels kind of like laid back kind of energy, but I'm hearing like misjudged, but like I'm hearing the judged part of that very strong, like misjudged. So this person's kind of owning up to it. So for instance, like for some of you, I think this is something that this person like did to you or they said to you. And that could have been about yourself. It could have been about somebody else. But I think they're saying that they misjudged. So whatever it is that this person said or whatever it is that they acted upon in the moment, like the judgment that was like the foundation of whatever happened here, they're saying that it was wrong. And I feel like this person didn't actually know much about whatever this judgment was. It feels like a snap judgment. And it feels like this person could have researched or like asked around or found the truth out, but they kind of didn't care to because it wasn't the point. I feel like the point here almost was to like lift the lid, it was to lash out. It was maybe for some of you, this person wanted you to feel judged, or they wanted you to feel exposed, or they wanted to like out a secret even. So you could have trusted this person, especially if they were like a friend, and they just betrayed your trust and like said it. It also feels like people were maybe making fun of you or like laughing. That could have been the misjudgment, because I think for some of you, I'm going back to this word misjudged. They could have misjudged the people, like people's reactions. So for you, it's like this person could have said something to you and they misjudged like your reaction. They thought maybe you were going to like laugh it off or something, and you didn't. I still feel like it was wrong and it was like a jackass thing to say, because I feel like maybe it feels like it had some type of undertone to it, or it was like a dog whistle kind of insult. And this person, again, they wanted you to feel judged or something. Take that how it resonates. But they also could have misjudged, maybe for some of you, like your friends' reactions. So maybe some of you actually do have really good friends, and this person said something out of pocket about you or just in general, and your friends like checked this person and they're saying like they were a jackass for saying it, because maybe this like now things are like really awkward, because it feels like somebody exposed themselves. And I feel like spirit was a part of that, because it feels like this also could have been way worse. Like if you didn't know about this, however bad it was. And for some of you, I feel like this was pretty bad. And I think what I mean, if this was like really bad, I feel like maybe your soul has like a strong history with these people who pretend to be your friends, or like for some of you, it's like somebody pretended to be your lover, or they were like your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner. And meanwhile, they betrayed you with a friend. They were sleeping, they jumped in, they slept with somebody who was supposed to be close to you or close to them, or they gossiped, or like they were laughing about you, or, something. And spirit is exposing the true character of who these people are and the way that they really feel about you, which maybe has this, it feels like jealousy, to be honest, but that's not going to be jealousy for everybody. It could be just genuine judgment. So now that's exposed to you, and it feels like you have your choice now. Spirit's giving you an option here now that this has been exposed, because it feels like to me you can get distance and you can get healing. Even if it's like on a soul level, that feels like an option here. So just kind of diving back into what potentially went on. For some of you, I feel like, this was like you were being like laughed at. So if this went on behind your back, it could have been a cheating situation, like I've already said. But this also could have been a situation where you were like discussed, behind your back by people that you thought were your friends. And I think, so especially if this was like a boyfriend or a partner, that it feels to me like somebody joined in, or somebody said something fucked up and then like you heard about it, or they just sat there while people were laughing about you. And again, I'm going back to misjudged, mischaracterized you, and they were like laughing, or they sat there with a smile on their face. And again, like you kind of found out about it. I'm going back to that, like misjudged. So it could be that this person misjudged the people around them. They thought that those people were your friends. And so maybe, sometimes we rib on each other. People do. And so maybe they thought, that I'm kind of not inclined to believe that. That sounds like an excuse, like they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. But maybe they're like, well, I thought those people were your friends. So I thought it was okay that we were like, kind of laughing. I thought that they were saying it all in good fun. But again, I misjudged those people. Or it could be like, well, I thought those people were my friends, it feels like, misjudged is really coming through. So I feel like, in part, okay, so the star card is coming out, which is like Aquarius energy. So this could have to do with like you being different. It could be that you are different than like these people in some way. Or it could be that this person said or did something to one of your friends. Maybe that friend is different. And so they thought, oh, well, I can laugh at that. But you were like, no, because I know that it's a sensitive point for this person, like no schadenfreude, kind of a thing. But I feel like, it could be because you were different. It also could be that you were doing something different. Like you took a big like leap or something, and you knew that whatever this was, it was like non-traditional, or that maybe a lot of people wouldn't get it or something. And you were kind of like putting yourself out there. So especially if this happened it could have happened in front of your face or behind your back, So, it could also be to do with attention. I'm actually getting that very strongly. So it could have been that you were getting attention, and that could have been in the moment, in the conversation that was going on, like at the table. And this person just didn't like it, and they were triggered, and they felt like jealous, and they wanted the attention on them. Or it could have been something like that. But it also could be maybe you were getting attention in a broader sense. Like, I don't know, maybe you were saying that you had just gotten a promotion, or that you were working on this new thing or something. And again, like it could have triggered somebody. I feel like something here is about attention. Now, I want to say, if this is like two friends that like somebody jumped in and slept with a friend, or this is your friend that like slept with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner, again, I feel like that was attention. There could be a scenario here, like between two friends, where there was like a hookup here, and maybe that involved you directly. Maybe like people were drinking or something, and but I feel like it's because there's something here with like two friends where one of these friends like really, really has the hots for the other one. And there could be kind of a difference here of like levels of attractiveness, like on a societal kind of level. And so somebody jumped in with a friend. It could have been you, because somebody, I think, had like a fantasy going in their head that if this is maybe a person who misunderstands what like romance is and like a romantic partner, they think that okay, I'm friends with somebody, and then if I sleep with them, that passion energy, like friends plus passion equals romantic partner, where actually like somebody that you want to be romantically involved with is something else, it's more than just the sum of its parts. And so I think they thought, well, if I could just get this person into bed, really lay it down, they'll be obsessed with me, or like I will be like the center of attention, and they're going to recognize that like I'm the one. And something here could have been like, again, I'm hearing like misjudged. They like miscalculated something here. And, maybe like you felt taken advantage of, or like you were really pissed off, or it even could be that like this friend, like somebody jumped in with a friend and somebody here was already in a relationship, and with Aquarius can be like your broader network. So somebody here could have been aware of this other person's girlfriend or boyfriend, but they just were so deluded over somebody and they didn't have any sense of right and wrong. And, so they jumped in and then they miscalculated it. They thought that this person was going to leave their partner for them, and not that it was just somebody being a jackass and like living in the moment, and they could tell somebody was keen and, took advantage of it, and it could be that maybe you and a friend were, out drinking and partying and this person, and I don't know. It just feels like something here. It was maybe like about attention. It could also be a friend, like your friend, that thought that they were going to say, like they could feel Aquarian, like in their own energy, they could feel different, maybe not your typical type. Maybe that's what's different. Or just in general, maybe they feel kind of, I'm the smart person or whatever. And they thought they were going to say something clever or just the right thing. And they thought they were going to make you laugh and you agree with them, and that they would have your attention and be something special to you and you would want to date them or something. And that kind of blew up in their face. I'm not sure. I feel like you know what the situation is. But I feel like it was horrendous. And this person is saying that they were a jackass and that they're a clown. It also could have been that maybe they were trying to make people laugh. And like that was about attention. Maybe they thought they were going to make you laugh, or that they were going to make fun of somebody and people would laugh. But they were really just like, I don't know, being a jackass. So I do feel this person wants to apologize. They want to take responsibility here. And maybe potentially they want to... I feel like this person wants to make you laugh again. They want things to be positive again. Because it feels like maybe there was that space, like, where you guys smile and you enjoy each other, but they're also, and they might want to illuminate some type of like plutonic energy. So they might want to illuminate what actually went on here behind the scenes. Because I think something, especially if this went on behind your back, it's like, I think spirit made sure that you knew something, but I think this person may want you to know something more, something Pluto, right? What was going on for them? Because for some of you, it could be that they want to tell you the way that they were feeling. And I think some of these people want to own up to the fact that they were jealous. They were jealous because they thought you were gaining, that you had choices or options. And maybe for some of you, if this was a romantic interest, they jumped in with a friend as a way of trying to take their power back in the situation. Not that it's healthy, not that it's okay, but they thought you had all the power in the situation. But again, misjudged and miscalculated, because that was horrendous. That was a horrendous thing to do. And it feels like for some, there is like a fantasy popped, here of... They thought that they were going to come off suave, or their fantasy was going to play out in real life. And actually they just ended up sad, So I think somebody here is wanting to shine some type of light on some type of Pluto energy, and why it was going on. They're maybe afraid that I think they're afraid that this is over. And for some of you, it might be, because I do feel that there was like betrayal energy, trust was broken here. But they do want to take responsibility. I also think for some of these people, this was a real wake-up call. And they're going to, I think they hang around rotten people. This is kind of a thing like beware the company you keep. It's a similar thing to like, don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry, because you're bound to make some bad decisions. If you have people that are not great around you and you have a low moment, or you just want to live in the moment, then something bad can happen. Because it's like, if you are the person in your friend group that always has to be the moral authority, like maybe let's not do that, then when you want to let go and not be the adult, then nobody is there to make sure that things kind of, don't go awry or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think this person is also maybe trying to peer in on you and to kind of take your temperature a bit, to see your emotions for them. Like they're I feel like maybe trying to cautiously approach. For some of them, they realized that they were sabotaged here as well. They thought somebody here was a friend, their friend, your friend. I don't know. They jumped in with this person and they're kind of realizing that that person is maybe in competition with you, that they wanted a victory or that they were trying to cut down your victory. So it could be that like, yeah, maybe somebody here was like saying, well, I was laughing at this joke or whatever. But then I realized actually there was something much more serious going on here, much more sinister, that somebody was, and I kind of don't know that I believe that. And I think that you kind of don't think that you believe that. I think for some of you, even if it is true, because some of you it might be, there's more to the story. Even if it's just this person needs to tell you just period point blank that they're a coward and that they just, I feel like that something here, this living in the moment energy is coming out, and maybe it was, but something felt bad. They felt it erupting kind of in their belly, like to come out or something. And it felt bad. It felt wrong because it was wrong. And this person is, calling themselves a jackass. They're saying that they were a fool in the past, that they just kind of, again, jumped in like kind of casual, or that they didn't know better. They didn't know, I don't know. They didn't know maybe these people too well or something. Yeah. So, I do actually though, for a lot of you, especially maybe if this was a smaller thing, this is like less true, but especially where this was like a big deal, where like you were dating somebody, they jumped in with like a mutual friend or something. I feel that was actually spirit looking out for you, because this person maybe has a tendency to not be a great person. And before you have, a marriage license and a house in the suburbs and 2.5 kids and responsibilities, and you're kind of stuck with this person, to some extent, I feel like maybe spirit was trying to like flash the lights in your head, like, hey, watch where you build your foundation, kind of a thing. This is a clown, which is great to invite to a birthday party, but maybe not to marry, or something like that. But again, like I said, this is like on a gradient, because for some of you, I think maybe it was kind of a small thing and this person really did learn their lesson. But even then, I think for some of you, something is like maybe actually very broken or very fractured here. So, also for some of you, it's like you are different. And maybe for some of you, I think you're like the butt of the joke, and for some of you, I think that these people that call themselves your friends maybe actually haven't earned, again, like friends rib each other. They do. But it's because they pour into each other's lives and they are the support system, and they're there and they're supportive and they're nurturing. And I'm not sure that these people have really earned that with you, even if they have certain titles like best friend or something. Some of these people have just like really taken from you. And again, maybe this is like a wake up call for you. But yeah, this person is coming through. They are trying, like I said, I feel like they are trying to take your temperature. Also, this person may have, for some of you, there's like a double apology here, because they may have like put on a smiley face to you. This person smiles in your face, right? That might be part of what they're calling out about their asshattery like behavior. Like, yeah, I betrayed you behind your back and then smiled in your face, and that's abhorrent, and I should like never have done that. And it was because they were trying to hide this this judgment energy, this betrayal, because they didn't want to be judged and they felt guilty. And also, I think this person maybe misjudged themselves in some way. They misjudged, like, oh, they thought that they could betray you behind your back and that it wouldn't bother them, and it was actually like eating them alive. Or for some, they found it easy, to betray you behind your back and then kind of like smile in your face. So for some, there's like a double apology here. I think they know that you're going to be suspicious of them, because I think this person's going to try to tell you that they've changed or they've healed or that they're different. They're also going to kind of keep their distance. They're not going to like kind of bum rush upon you, and then they're just going to kind of watch. I think they're also going to perform a bit. And that's kind of the only way for them, I think, to signal that's the only way that they can think, this doesn't seem like a very direct person. I think that's a bit what got them in this problem to begin with, is that something had like built up, and then like they got triggered, or they needed to be able to have a direct conversation with you, or about the way that they were feeling. They were feeling jealous, or they were feeling unsure. But I think this person wants to put on a bit of a performance of like at the periphery of your life. They want to shine their light. They want to make sure that you see them, and they want to demonstrate that they're changed or that they're different. And if this person was making fun of you for being different, this person may be different in the same way that you are, and want to signal that, hey, you're really into this, I don't know, counterculture movement. Well, so am I. And like maybe they'll wear something, or they'll talk, like, I don't know, okay, say it's like tarot. Say that maybe you're into tarot or something and they found out about it and they're like, can you believe they're into tarot? So stupid. And this person might mention that they got a deck, or that they sage their house, or, you know, that they also like to talk to the divine. You couldn't tell by their behavior, but you know, they have a relationship with God and they would maybe like for you to know that, some of these people. So it's slow, sort of like, you know, baby steps, or well, where they'll demonstrate that they are actually okay with whatever the difference was. And when they put you up on that pedestal and started throwing tomatoes at you and laughing just voraciously, you know, they want to show you that, well, I have other friends that, you know, do this, see, that find me to be safe, to be around. So I feel like that it is a bit of a performance, and this person's kind of trying to tiptoe in. And I think it's up to you. And I do think for some of you, it hit just the right way. And I think just the right way is like, you really thought this person was your friend. You really thought that they like had your back. And also for some of you, you did find out about this and it wasn't from this person. And for some of you, like if this went on behind your back, they still to this day haven't owned up to it and maybe continued to like act out instead of just like stopping, pausing, reflecting and saying like, well, I did betray this person behind their back. I wonder if they could possibly know about that. And they, to this day, they still have not directly to your face said, I know you know what I did. And I know that it affected like our relationship, or like the way that you could speak to me, the things that you felt like you could say, how open and honest you felt like you could be to me. You know, I know that that's what ended our relationship. I feel like for some of you, you would respect this person a lot more if they just said, period, point blank, you should have heard it from me. You should have heard it from me. There's cowardice here. And it is still kind of, this person's kind of tiptoey. And for some of you, they have to be. They know that it has to be really delicate, because for some of you, I feel like the door is firmly closed because of like what they did. They could see you living in the moment, and they could also, for some of you, I do feel like they're seeing you be loved by friends. Beloved, the word is that. I feel like you are actually genuinely beloved by this person, and maybe they're just around some rotten people, but I think that they've seen you be around people that genuinely do like love or care for you. Even if they can just see it like in your pictures on the internet, you know, of you having good time with people. And this person, I think, genuinely misses that, because it feels like the two of you had some really, you know, good times. And I just heard good times, great oldies 95. That was the radio station where I grew up. So that was like a blast from the past, and it was like an oldie station. So this person may also want to, I don't know, remind you of like the good times, or like they might bring up a conversation that you guys like had that they knew was a banger, you know, or like play a song that you guys used to rock out to in the car, you know, because they're going to try to get you into the vibe. They're going to try to get you into the mood. For some of you, you're not going to the vibe. You're not going to the mood. It's like that shake and bake, you know, in Talladega Nights, and a lot of shit went down. And then by the end, Cal Naughton tried to shake and bake. He was like, shake. And he was like, no, never again. Ricky Bobby was like, never again. We're not doing that ever again. You know, even if you were to repair this, it would never kind of be what it was in the past. And maybe that's a good thing for both of you, but I feel like they'll always kind of be the distance here. You know, it's like, we're not shake and bake. You're yourself, I'm myself. You know, we can be in the same room together. We can be civil, but the just unabashed trust where I can like let myself go and I can gut laugh in your presence and not feel, that's probably not going to be there. You know, I think for some of you, that's kind of where you're at with this person. But like I said, there is a gradient here. For some of you, this really wasn't that big of a deal. But I actually feel like even if it wasn't that big of a deal, it kind of was. Like it just hit the right way, and it revealed something about this person and the way that they truly feel about you or something. And it's kind of like, well, you can't really take that back, you know? But anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.